Let's be real. As an Etsy seller, you know just how crowded that marketplace is. So what really makes a customer pick your shop over all the others? Well, it's not just about having great products. It's about building a brand that people truly trust. And in this explainer, we're digging into Etsy's own guide on truthful advertising to show you exactly how to do that.
So, here's what we're going to cover. First, we'll talk about your shop's single most valuable asset. Then we'll get into the 3 pillars of trust. After that, we're diving deep into the truth about running sales, why keeping reviews real is a must, and finally, how you can pull this all together to build a brand that's truly built to last. Let's jump in.
All right, so let me ask you something. When you think about all the things you do to market your shop, social media, SEO, taking those gorgeous photos, what do you think is the single most powerful marketing tool you have? Just take a second to think about it.
It's this one little word, trust. Yep. In a sea of millions of shops, a customer's trust is everything. It's what turns a casual browser into a repeat buyer, and a repeat buyer into a true fan who tells all their friends about you. And that's exactly why we need to think of trust as your shop's most valuable asset. Seriously, it isn't just some vague, fuzzy feeling. It's a real, tangible part of your business that you have to actively build and protect with every single listing you create.
And this isn't just about being a good person, it's actually just smart business. Being truthful builds that long-term trust. It stops you from accidentally misleading people. And, really importantly, it keeps you on the right side of Etsy's policies and even consumer protection laws. It's a win-win-win for everybody.
So the big question is, how do you actually build this trust?
Well, Etsy's guidance pretty much boils it all down to a simple but really powerful framework. Let's take a look at the 3 pillars that should be holding up all of your marketing efforts. And here they are: fairness, transparency, and honesty. You can think of these as the absolute bedrock of your shop. If you build everything you do on top of these 3 ideas, you really can't go wrong.
The bottom line here is that any claim you make has to be truthful and accurate. We're talking about your photos, your titles, your descriptions, the whole shebang. They all have to be a totally honest picture of your product. No surprises. What people see should be exactly what they get.
And this example just nails it, right? Using vague language, even if you don't mean to, can be misleading. Saying gold jewelry is kind of hazy, but gold-plated brass, that is specific, it's transparent, and it's honest. Precision builds trust. Vagueness can, well, break it.
Look, we've all probably felt that little temptation to kind of game the system, right? Mess with prices just to get that sale badge or trigger some algorithm. But here's the deal. Don't. Just don't do it. It goes directly against Etsy's policies, it completely shatters customer trust, and it could even get you into legal trouble. It's just not worth the risk.
Okay, let's talk about something that can be a little tricky for any seller: running a sale. Promotions are a fantastic tool, but only if they're done honestly. Getting this right is absolutely critical for keeping that trust you've worked so hard for. This quote from Etsy's guide really says it all. A sale needs to feel like a special event. It's a temporary price drop from a price that was real, that was established. It can't just be the new normal for your product.
Which leads us to this really important question. What actually makes a discount real? How can you, and more importantly, how can your customers, know for sure that they're getting a genuine deal?
And this breaks it down perfectly. A fake discount, that's when you jack up the price for like a day, just so you can dramatically slash it for a sale. An honest discount means that higher price, the one with the line through it, was the real normal price for a good chunk of time. That's the key difference.
The same idea applies to those up to sales. If you advertise up to 50% off, you can't just have one obscure little item at that discount while everything else is 5% off. A real, meaningful number of your items for sale have to actually be available at that top discount. This chart shows you exactly how it should look. See here? A full 20% of the items, that's a pretty significant chunk, are at that top 50% off discount. The marketing claim is actually backed up by what's happening in the sale. That's transparency right there.
All right, let's move on to social proof. Reviews. Customer reviews are unbelievably powerful, which is exactly why they have to be 100% authentic. So let's talk about how to keep them real. And Etsy's policy on this? It is crystal clear. You cannot post fake reviews for yourself. You can't ask your friends or family to write fake positive reviews for you. And you absolutely cannot offer people things like refunds or free stuff in exchange for a good review.
The only feedback allowed is genuine feedback. Period.
Okay, so we've talked about descriptions, we've talked about sales, and we've talked about reviews. Now let's zoom out and pull this all together and look at the big picture, how all of this helps you build a brand that actually lasts.
Because this is the real takeaway right here. Following these rules isn't a chore, and it's not just about avoiding trouble. It's a real proactive strategy. It's how you build a community of loyal customers who trust you, who respect your work, and who are genuinely proud to support your shop.
So I'll leave you with this one question to think about. After everything we've gone over, what is one specific thing you can do in your shop, like today, to build more trust with your very next customer?